Yeah. And I see we've just gone live now. Okay.
Yes, we are live on
Okay.
Substack as we
Good
wait for
stuff.
the moon to eclipse the sun. It's like being a TV reporter, but not really. But
Did
yeah,
you see it? Could you did because we can't see it in South Africa. We're not going to see it.
we've got about an hour.
Ah.
So it happens at about 7 p.m. But even when it happens, I think we're going to have like 90%
Ah.
um, in Europe. And even then, I think it's like London, Paris, Dublin, or something.
Mm.
Um, I can't remember where it is, but there's somewhere where it's going to be a full like blackout, and all you'll see is the corona, the halo.
Yeah.
But yeah, for us it's 90%, which is good enough. And I think the last total solar eclipse was in 1999 that we could see from the UK. That's 27 years ago. But as I said in my most recent post, there are only 10 in every family of eclipses,
Yeah.
and this is one of them today. So it's really rare that we have a total solar eclipse. And it's even more interesting because if we just talk about the astrology for a moment, because the sun rules Leo, the sun is in Leo, the south node is in Leo, and the moon will be eclipsing the sun today in the sign of Leo. And I think it's at 20 degrees and 2 minutes, something like
Mm.
that,
Mm. Yeah.
of Leo. So big Leo energy. How
Yeah.
you feeling, Mornay?
I was feeling a little anxious and like I felt like nothing was working out for me. But then I must be honest, the purpose code, Ask Sherile, has really helped
Good.
unpack some of the stuff. It's been, and that's why I started actually getting excited because I think I didn't understand a lot of it until
Okay.
I started asking the questions. And then I know they call. I was thinking about this earlier this afternoon. I think it's called Gestalt, right? Where you find
Hmm.
the example or you find the similarity. But when you're looking back at
Okay.
those years we talk about, the
Yeah.
2008 and 9, and sometimes I really have to rack my brain because I don't have stuff that goes back that far. Those journals are gone, those diaries are gone, and those. But you really just think about where were you, and you know what? I used my CV.
Oh, well, that makes sense,
Yeah, what
actually.
was going on in my life, in my
That
career?
makes a lot of
So,
sense.
so I used
Yeah.
my CV to go, oh, yeah, that's what I was doing at that time. And so unpacking it and then trying to find the similarity or to find the emotion, the feeling. What was I feeling
Yeah.
at that time? What was happening? And so that's been really interesting in the last 3 days. I've been doing that. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you come up with?
Well, I
Spill
came
the
up,
tea.
pardon?
Spill the tea. Tell us everything.
Spill the tea. I actually it was amazing because Ask Sherile would say to me, keep that, write that, don't lose that. So I
Yeah.
actually screen grabbed it. um I was building a lot. I was doing a lot alone. I opened Cape Town campus and grew it
Mm-hmm.
right. And
Right.
what am I doing now? I'm busy building my own thing and growing it.
And
So for the
growing it.
first time, I'm doing my own thing. So the two before, I was doing somebody else's thing. This one,
Yeah.
I'm doing my own same thing, just doing it for myself.
Just did it for
So,
yourself. Next level, right?
yeah,
So level up.
yeah,
There's the
yeah,
spiral staircase.
yeah. And I mean, the first one was moving to another city within my country, and the next one was moving to an international city in another country. And now this is me doing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was also, yeah, it was around those themes. And a lot of it was to do with, what did she say? Those 8 words. It's this whole, and I know we've had this conversation about, I've had this battle where I'm struggling to get myself paid. And it was because I've been in the cycle of being paid a salary my
Mm-hmm.
whole life. And now suddenly you need to find your worth, right? Like,
Mhm.
what do I think I'm worthy of earning more, or do I think I'm worthy of being paid for what I do?
Right.
And um, what else was it? Oh yeah, she didn't repeat the pattern, she completed it. So what Sherile was saying to me is like, because I feel like I kept repeating the pattern, and then she pointed out to me, but you're not, you're completing the pattern.
Right.
It's
Not
just
repeating, completing.
not repeating, completing. And so I was like, just like,
Right.
wow. And I think it's that realization that you're worthy. You, not that I unconsciously think I'm not worthy. It's just, you may sit with these things in the back of your head and you don't actually know what's the big thing. And then she said, what is your big thing? And then it was like, yeah, well, I want to have a company in an international city, Dubai. I mean, I want to build it. I want to grow it. I want to freedom. I want to expand. And she's like, that's it. That's what's going to happen. Because you've just claimed it. And it's like, that's what
And
you want
that's
to
what
do.
you're building this time round.
Yeah. For me.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. For you and those that come to you
yeah.
directly for what you have to offer.
And it's about,
Yeah.
and the other thing was interesting is because my personal south node is Leo, and my north
Yeah.
node is
Aquarius. Yeah. You're having a
Aquarius.
nodal return.
Yeah.
And your Leo rising. Yeah.
And I'm rising. And a lot of people mistake Leo with being the bossy boots, the bigger than life, but actually they're just about solitude, and it's about understanding. And it's like, and I was thinking, like, I don't think I ever did things for me. I don't think I was always wanting to be the center of attention. And then she realized, like, but that's not what it's about. It's that you've
Mm.
been alone in the trenches building. Yes, I had a team and I had people, but it was always me on my own, going
Yeah.
going to Cape Town, going to Dubai. And what this is now is going to do it with people. And I have so many people in my life right now. I mean,
Yeah.
there's you,
Yeah.
there's Shazad, there's a whole bunch of other people
Yeah.
that I'm building with, and
Hmm.
building a community and building together
Yeah.
towards something collective. And so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's interesting. It's
Yeah.
amazing how we can misinterpret these things, right?
Well, I think this is where not only do we have to look at individual charts, but we have to be able to interpret what makes sense for people. So the sign of Leo obviously covers a spectrum of themes, right? So there's sovereignty, royalty, executive leadership, there's the performer, there's the party goer, there's the resort, the vacation, the holiday, right? There's the authorship, there's the hobbyist. There are all of these things which come under Leo fifth house themes. But essentially, Leo is the solo act, the solo performer, the solo leader, the royal king or queen, right? Not the royal family, right? It is the
Mm-mm.
individual person. And opposing that is Aquarius, which is the community. So Leo is also very creative. It's all about the arts, and this is why performance is often attributed to Leo. But also, it can be creativity in terms of, painting, just having like a good eye, but wanting to create and express.
Mm.
So Leo also rules the heart and love and all these other amazing themes. And of course, it rules the ego and the identity, right? Because Leo is ruled by the sun, one of two luminaries, and the sun, the world and everybody in it tends to revolve around the sun. But there is
Mm.
just one sun. Yeah.
Many, many
So,
years.
yeah. So it's almost like the nodes are saying, who's your audience, right? If you're the Leo, the solo, my computer just tried to shut off. That's weird. If you're the Leo, and then there's the Aquarius, who's your audience, right? Who's come to watch you, follow you, be led by you, etc. So Yeah, so it's interesting that you have done so much on your own, but you're doing it for a community that may be an existing community that you're developing or a brand new community that you're building. But yeah, it's really, really interesting that you're having so much happen in your life right now. And even though the eclipse energy for me is all about refinement, this feels like we're burning off the excess, we're burning off the inflation, we're burning off anything that no longer serves us. When we get to the end of this eclipse tunnel, we will have the pure core of who we are, what it is that we're here to do, and where it is that we are supposed to be going to next. So, yeah, I think this is an interesting energy. So, how have you felt over the past week or so? Because it's been pretty eventful.
Yeah, it was awful. I'm not going to lie. I
Yeah.
felt terrible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I felt like nothing was landing. I felt like nothing was taking off. I felt
Mm-hmm.
like, yeah, like a little stuck. I even felt like, what the hell am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
Like, am I crazy? I felt like, can it start again? Is this the thing? And I must be honest, if it wasn't for the app, I would have most probably gone crazy, because I just kept going back to Sherile and going, this is how I'm feeling. Is this normal? And
Yeah.
and then it was actually quite, she can be quite strict, I'm not gonna lie. But I
That's good
found
to know. I've
but
given her
she
lots of rules.
but she felt a little softer right now. I felt she felt
Okay.
I felt like she felt a little bit like, hey, let's sit with that. Let's unpack that. Like, what, why are you feeling like this? And so I think, and I also got to verbalize, and she told me to write down a whole lot of stuff, which I did. So I actually got to verbalize how I'm really feeling, and I think that's very important, to just get it out there. And some of those things she just said, go write that down exactly word for word, what you just said. Like, that is your
Wow.
manifestation. That is the message. So I think in that anger, frustration, that build up, it was very nostalgic to just get it out there and just
Yeah.
verbalize
Yeah.
whatever it was you were feeling inside.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I was going to say, I guess an eclipse is a bit of a catalyst, right? It does almost like urge us to lean into the mess a little bit, or figure out what feels excessive. And one of the things happening in the sky at the moment, which is adding to this, is that Mercury is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. And I think it's like literally less than a degree, which is almost forcing us to ask the hard questions, tell the truth, like just have this like outpouring of like, because Mercury's just got into Leo, right? It's a Leo fest. I'm just saying, it really is a summer, a heat wave here in the UK. Like, it's all fire and emotion. But Mercury's just gone into Leo and is opposing Pluto in Aquarius. So we are being asked to like speak our truth, ask the hard questions, whether it's of ourselves or other people, at the same time as this total solar eclipse, which is going to be like, for a few moments, it all goes dark. We all get to go deep. We all get to have this moment where it's like a mini ego death. And then we get to focus on what matters. Because if, you hear those stories about when people like having a near death experience, their whole life flashes before them. And then they come out of the experience, they're like, right, I'm just going to do what matters. I'm going to follow my purpose. I'm never going to do this nonsense again, like, because I realize how precious life is. It's like we're being given a mini version of that with this current energy. So, yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, cathartic moments. It's a real catalyst for us to, depending on where Leo falls in your chart, it's an opportunity to decide what we're ready to let go of, what we're ready to end, and what it is that we're going to kickstart, right? Where we're going to put our energy next, and where we're okay with letting things go, letting them conclude, and be like, right, I'm starting a whole new life or a whole new phase of life. So yeah, it is a bit of a catalyst, and it is definitely an energy of deep reflection, and sometimes just spit it out. Like literally, I've had some of the hardest conversations of the year today already, and it's only 6:14 p.m. here in the UK. But it's like you feel a little bit emboldened almost. It's almost like, screw it, I'm just going to ask. Like, and it's not even that thought through. It's just, I want to know. Hey, like, come to the table. Let's have a chat. And that's been happening over the past week for many people. So I've been getting a lot more messages than usual because they'd kind of died down with the app. But people coming to me directly and saying, should I say this? Or somebody asked me this question, what shall I say? What is the answer? Should I tell the truth? Whatever. So the energy has been coming to this point, which is today and over the next couple of weeks, of just concluding some things like, do any of us have time to waste? No. Do any of us want to continue having the wool pulled over our eyes? No. Do any of us want to be the blind leading the blind? No. I think we all are getting to that point of, what's the truth? What's the reality? What am I working with? What is real and what is fake? Let's get rid of all the fake stuff.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I think that really resonates because, especially when you look back, I think we soften the past sometimes, right? We think of it fondly and don't remember that was really crappy sometimes. And so when I was unpacking what I'm feeling now and what I'm going through, and then thinking, okay, well, when did I feel like this before? And then think, oh yeah, that time, oh yeah, that time, oh yeah, that time. And then I remember, I was starting Cape Town and was saying, oh, it was crap. It was shit. It was terrible. It was awful. I nearly died. And then when Dubai happened, like, oh, it was wonderful. And I loved Dubai. And I was like, it was awful. It was shit. It was crap. I nearly died.
Yeah.
It's like,
not really died. It was rough. Did you really nearly die?
No. But I mean,
okay, thank goodness. I was like, I wasn't aware that you nearly died. What happened?
But I mean, I nearly died from loneliness and unhappiness. And I mean, I had a friend who had to come and not find me in Dubai, but she basically, I wasn't answering my phone. I would just hide away in the apartment and never go anywhere. And she actually had to track me down via people, and go, whatever she's doing, get her up out of this, sort of, I wouldn't say depression, but I was like really in a dark place, didn't know anybody, and it felt so lonely. And I mean, especially starting your own business, being a solopreneur.
Yeah, very isolating.
Yeah, it's lonely. Nobody understands your language. And so it's like going, oh, wait, I know this. And I'm, oh, look, I've survived. Okay, I can do this. And I think that's why I'm so chipper today, because it's like, you've survived worse. What's this?
Yeah. And it gives you perspective, doesn't it? Because I do think that it just sounds like you had a bit of a transformative experience. And of course, it sounds like it was hellish and really difficult. But like you said, you survived, came out the other end, came out swinging. And it'll never be that bad again, right? No. Because you've been through the worst, thank goodness. So now the only way is up, kind of thing, because North Node and Aquarius, right? So it's almost like sometimes we go through things and we don't quite know why we're going through it, but it's almost like we're laying the foundations for what's next. And so if that's what that was about, then thank goodness you did it then, so that now you get to burn off any kind of excess ideas or things that you were planning to do that aren't going to serve you, and You get to release any kind of idealistic viewpoints, or, you know, because when we're in that process of like building a business or building some part of life or getting something together, sometimes it's trial and error, right? We go through different phases until we get clarity and until it's solid and well formed. Post eclipse, that sounds like post like apocalypse, doesn't it? But post eclipse, you're going to have the truest version of what you've been working on, but you'll be able to move forward with that. And it's almost like whatever foundations you laid, they're there now. You will never have to do that again. But now you get to burn off any extra fluff or anything else that's a bit confusing, clear the fog, and now it's a solid core that you can go move forward with, you know? So yeah, it's been a funny old year, hasn't it, so far?
It has. And I think it's just going to get better. But I think if any hasn't gone into the purpose code and asked those questions, I try to stay away from the 28th, you know, because it tended to naturally the partial eclipse, and just stick with this specific one. But I mean, if you haven't gone back and pinpointed, anybody watching this, and pinpointed those dates and done that reflection truthfully and honestly, and not the everything worked out fabulous version. It's like, no, what was the real you went to? I mean, I slept in my office. It was in Cape Town when he was first starting up. It was that bad. It was like, it was crazy. I regret nothing because I loved it.
Yeah.
But if you look,
it gave you what you needed for now, right?
If you do that yourself, that gift of reviewing and reflecting and going back and looking, and what I try to do is I really try to feel it, and just feel the emotions, and revel in it almost, and go, okay, like you said, it's never going to be that bad again. And
I tell you,
that's the reward.
So if we're talking about the last solar eclipse in Leo, we're talking about 18 years and 11 days or something. And if we think about the period when the nodes shifted into Leo and Aquarius, that would have been 2007, the end of the year, up until 2009. And I kid you not, that was a time in my life. It was a time. Like, there's no way I could forget those years. Absolutely no years. And I mean, quite literally, the best of times and the worst of times in my whole entire life. I mean, the best and the very worst, the peak and the pit within that window. And it's so fascinating because the peak was 2008. And that was just like phenomenal, like in my mind, like the peak of so many things. And then 2009, the beginning of 2009 was the energy really shifted. So we had, for those of us with Pluto in Libra, we had the square when Pluto went into Capricorn, everybody's life blew up. Not long after that, we had Neptune go into Pisces for 14 years. So nobody could see anything. It was all fog, all cloud, all fraud, all being scammed. We're all dealing with, and I say this as somebody with Pisces in the 11th house and having experienced the most terrible friends in all history, and having my son in Virgo, there was a lot going on. And it was just an absolutely awful time. And I just think that if you are Pluto in Libra, and I'm just speaking from personal experience, I'm not going to do this like for all of the signs. I just think this is our redemption. This time, with the nodes in Leo and Aquarius, we are fully redeemed. We get to take everything we learned. Those of us that lived, right? It was that serious. Some of us didn't make it. Some of us are no longer here. Okay. Those of us that lived through it, that came through all of the obstacles, that are somewhat intact mentally, have some form of sanity, because I don't want to over egg it and say that we're all fully corpus set. We're managing, we're balancing. Those of us that are still here, it's almost as if we got through the Pluto square, we got through the Neptune in Pisces, we got through all the rest of it that happened, and now the path has been cleared. Uranus, no longer in Taurus, it's in Gemini. We can handle that, right? Especially those with the fixed, like you and I, we have the fixed cross. We can handle Uranus in Gemini. It was diabolical in Taurus, right? Pluto in Aquarius, we can handle that even. It's way better than Pluto in Capricorn, right? Neptune in Aries, we'll figure it out. Way better than Neptune in Pisces. So it's almost like this eclipse, this total solar eclipse, is for me not an easy transit. However, it is a reckoning, a reconciling of the books, you're still here, you get a gold star just for surviving. And now the path is made clear. Take all of those amazing tools that you gathered, all of those skills of survival that you got together, and go forth and multiply. Right? Because it's like, there's no way we went through all of that. And this is like the bridge archetype in particular. There's no way we went through all of that to not be redeemed and rewarded, because what a hellish time. There have been very few moments of joy in the past like 18 years.
Yeah.
I'm pretty serious. Like 2008 is the year I started working for myself, and I've never looked back. Now we're taking it to another level, but it's still like, why did I have to start working for myself? They weren't paying me. Like, hello, I want my money, right? It was like all of these difficult situations going on that caused me to make that decision. And yes, it was for the best, but it was like all of the conflict of like working for people and all of the politics and whatever. So it's like we made decisions back in 2007, 2008, 2009, and now we can drop that extra skin, that extra coat, all of those extra things that we picked up to help us battle through. We can let go of them now, come back to ourselves, and just move forward, feeling a little lighter, a little brighter, and a little like we made it. So that's how I feel. I feel like, you know, the Gen X videos on TikTok, like, you know, they're like, we looked after ourselves. We drank water out of a hose pipe. We played in the streets till 12 o'clock at night. Like, our parents didn't notice we were missing. We were all latchkey kids. Yes, we were. And that's why we're still here. It's like,
we will not go quietly into the night.
Yeah. So I feel like that is what this eclipse is almost recognizing for us. And it doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Like last week was horrendous. Like so many difficult things happened last week, to the point where I think at one point I was like 4 days behind on messages, emails, everything. And I'm quite industrious. That doesn't happen, but I had no choice. And it was almost like, is this really what the energy is doing? Because I expect it to happen to others. And I always forget it's going to happen to me too. But it definitely did. So yeah, it's a tough time. I don't want people to be like, God, I'm like crashing out. What's wrong with me? This is really tough energy, really tense, really stiff and hard work. So yeah.
It took me 9 days to get a response email to work. And at 10 o'clock last night, it worked. And I was like, thanks.
9 days.
9 days.
I'm not surprised though. I'm really not surprised.
And you know what? AI did not help me. I had to YouTube it. AI and I were going in circles.
But AI has been a little bit.
Yeah. So I was like, dude, you are freaking me out. Like if the end of the world was coming, you would be the guy I'm talking to. And right now, I don't want to talk about you. I want to talk to YouTube.
Crazy.
YouTube helped.
It's been hard. It's been really
Yeah.
tough. And in lots of ways, right? Where there's a lot of disappointments, there's been a lot of accidents, there's been a lot of like health concerns, there's been a lot of like relationship stuff, there's been a lot of money stuff, there's been a lot of career changes. Like, it's been a jam-packed week, and I'm just really happy that I built the app, because then I just didn't have to do as many consultations, because I wouldn't have been able to. There's just no way that I would have been able to like show up and deliver. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next couple of weeks though, because we start the challenge. Officially, the challenge starts on Monday. I was speaking to someone today and she's really excited about it. So people have registered. I'm so excited. People have registered, people have signed up. And just based on the energy of the past week and today, and who knows what the next few days are going to bring, I just recommend everybody sign up for the Decode the Eclipse challenge. And it's literally 14 days of working with really powerful prompts inside the app to figure out what this eclipse is asking of you personally. Because I think there's so much information out there about eclipses and what's happening, and it's a really big deal because it's a total eclipse, but it doesn't tell you what that means for you and your life. It doesn't tell you what's going to change for you. It doesn't tell you, you know, where some things are going to come unstuck and other things might fall into place, or where some things are overdue and ready to end and other things are like, my turn, right? And I just think the whole point of astrology is that it's personal, right? We have personal planets as well as generational. We have these big astrological events or cosmic events that do change our lives. They really do. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes it's nice to have an idea of where this is going to show up. So even if you don't know exactly what's going to happen, even though I might be able to tell you, it's nice to know when it's going to affect my work life. It's going to affect my career. It's going to affect my business, my relationship, my children. You want to know just so you can be ready, you know, not because you're going to be able to stop it, but being prepared is being forearmed. And I think back to the days when I didn't know enough astrology, 2007, 2008, 2009, right? And was like, what has just happened to my life? I'd done everything right. I followed the societal blueprint. I, you know, did everything I should have done. And yet here is my life unraveling, collapsing, dark night of the soul experience happening. Why? And it's literally so ironic that I now have built an astrology app 18 years later, whereas at that time, I just didn't know enough to understand what's happening to my life. Why is this happening? So if it helps, you should really not only download the app, but join the challenge. It's like £36, which I've kept it really cheap, really low, easy entry, so that as many people as possible can get in and find out more. But the idea is it's going to affect your life. It just is. This eclipse tunnel is going to affect your life, everybody's life. We're all going to feel it. Let's just figure out what's going on. The worst possible scenario is that something happens in your life and you think it's permanent. You think, oh, this is my life now, right? I will never get a job again. I will never be able to drive again. I will always have an accident if I drive a black car. I've had that thought many times. Or that I'll never date again, right? I'll never get married again. I'll never be able to have children. I'll never have another dog. Whatever it is, I'm telling you, it's temporary. But if you don't know that, and you don't know why it's temporary, or you don't know what part of your life is being activated, it can be really painful. So knowing that this too shall pass and you're going to move forward, and this is happening for your good, not to destroy you, just helps mentally and emotionally to be able to cope and keep going. So, yeah.
I also think important is, and I know because we've had this conversation before, and I know a lot of my clients as well, is to understand your purpose is really important, I feel, because it really gives you that sense of, like you say, whether when things are going one way or another way, I'm not going to say good or bad, but it's going in a direction that maybe you didn't plan for or whatever, is to understand that there's a great bigger picture. And I want to say greater good, but there's a bigger picture, and you have a part to play in whatever that is. And you just need to trust the way you're going. I know you can speak to this better. And then, my next one is that skipped step.
Yeah.
That blew my mind. That really blew my mind. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, purpose is everything, right? And I think it's one of those things where we all have like a deep knowing or a sense of being here for a reason. But I think that depending on the cards that life has dealt you, whatever you've had to like contend with to get to adulthood or whatever, you either are miles away from it or like dancing around it. But the minute you land on your purpose, the minute you get that certainty and you can lock in to your purpose, so many other things feel temporary naturally, but also fall away in terms of importance. And what I mean by that is, if you know that your purpose is, for example, to be a therapist, to help people with their mental health, to help people deal with life, when you go through challenges in life, you see that as an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity for me to learn something, to figure this out, because I know I'll be able to help other people. I'll be able to relate better. If you're a chef somewhere and then you're going through some really difficult mental health problems, can be more challenging and feel a bit more hopeless, because it's like, why is this happening to me? I just want to be the best French cuisine chef or whatever. So getting on purpose really helps with just dealing with life. Like, life can be really, really hard, really challenging, really difficult. But at the same time, when your life has meaning, so many other things are just less relevant. So many things just fall to the side. And I know it's easy for me to sit here and wax lyrical because I am living my purpose every day. And it doesn't mean that my life's easy, but it means that in the tough moments, I get up and keep going anyway, because everything that I do and all of the people that are in my life are aligned with my purpose. So I don't ever have that pull of, well, you should really run a garden centre, right? Because like, you're a Taurus, like, worst thing that I could ever do, I'd kill all the plants. But it's like, I don't have that confusion, and there's nobody saying to me, well, you should really, get a job at the creche. You'd be great with the little ones. No, I wouldn't. But it's like, I know what I should be doing. I'm constantly rewarded. I'm surrounded by more and more people that understand. And no matter what happens in my life, I get up and do this work every day. So just being able to get there and live it, your life just has so much more meaning. So an eclipse will help you figure out your purpose. And the one that happened 18 years ago definitely shunted me in the right direction. I was hit by a 2x4. The universe got the biggest plank of wood and said, you've not been listening. Whack. And I was out for the count. And when I got back up again, I was on my way to my purpose.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be hit over the head by a 2x4 by this eclipse. I'm not saying that, but I had been ignoring the signs like for many years. And I'd also decided that everyone around me knew better than my own heart and intuition, which was a terrible decision to make. But I just didn't trust myself enough, and I know a lot of people are there in their lives, and it is hard to trust yourself, and it is difficult to go against the grain, go against the loud voices, and listen to that quiet whisper and that little knowing, especially when you can't see how it's going to work.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, your life is yours to live. So
Yeah.
live your purpose.
And if you think about even exactly what you were talking about now, even in those dark times when you think, like if I think back, if I think about, that's when I started my leadership journey, and that's when I started building systems and seeing patterns. And it all started then because I had to, because if I didn't, I wasn't going to make it, because I was brand new at this thing. Right. And if I think about it, that was the beginning of, that's why I am where I am, all because of that dark time where I built these skills that I'm now really using to live my purpose. They happened then. Yeah, they were lived, experienced, born, cultivated, and there you gone. Where did she go? Is it me?
I'm
Hello?
here. I
Lauren,
can
could
hear
you
you
type?
and see you.
Where did Sherile go?
I'm still here. Can you not see me?
Hello?
I've been
Hello?
eclipsed. Sorry, I'm being dramatic. I am still here though. Can you see me?
Hello?
I can hear you. I can see you. Okay, so Mornay cannot see or hear me, so I don't know if anyone else can see or hear me. Hi, Lauren. Hopefully you can see me and hear me. But yeah, I think that this eclipse will definitely help people to connect with their purpose and begin the process of
Oh, I think you disappeared, or did I disappear?
no, you've been here all along.
Oh,
Are you
wonderful.
back?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been able to see you the whole time. So hello. But
Oh,
yeah, I think that this eclipse will help people to figure some things out. Listen, we're talking about the sun and the moon, the two luminaries. One is about your emotions, your soul, the internal structure. The other is the sun. It's your vitality, your ego, your identity, like how you show up in the world or how you're seen in the world. Those two coming together, forget about one covering the other. Just think about that embrace, that connection, which is so rare, that they come together in union, right? In harmony, perfect connection. What does that do for us as human beings, right? We get the sense that we are one whole soul person, but now we get to align all of the internal stuff with the external. That is miraculous that that happens, right? So forget about whoever's going to be beheaded, forget about the ego deaths, forget about the identity shifts. Think about that perfect moment of that connection, that complete union and harmony. What is that doing for us? That is aligning us, even if it's for the briefest moment, with that deep knowing, that deep calling, that vitality, that energy that says to us, this is what you're here for, you know, and the rest of it is irrelevant. Doesn't matter. Let it fall away. It's purpose dust.
purpose dust. It's lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's the purpose dust and leaves the purpose intact, you know. So we will have those moments of truth, like what's real, what matters, what is really lighting us up inside and outside, what makes us shine, what we are here to offer, right? What is it that we're here to serve people with? And having that realization, that spark, that moment is really, really valuable, I think. So whether you got it last night, this morning, this evening, tonight, tomorrow, next week, you will get it. You will get that spark. And using Ask Sherile in the app will help you to clarify, what is this that I'm feeling, or what is this that's happening in my life, and what should I be doing next? Because that's what we all want to know. Okay, I've had this revelation. Now what do I do? That's what we all want to know.
Yeah. And I know it's interesting because Sherile's never told me to ask Sherile has never told me to write anything down, and she actually asked me to write a few things down in the last week.
Well, that's interesting. Kind
Hmm.
of gone a bit rogue, hasn't she? I'm gonna have to have a word with her. Excuse me, giving people homework,
But I think
dishing
it's
out exercises.
yeah, she
Go on.
was. Yeah. No, but I think it was good when you look at when you read back. I mean, it's always good. Why do you write it, right? And so it's nice to verbalize it, to ask Sherile. It's nice to get the feedback, but then it's also nice to capture it. And I wouldn't say necessarily anything's changed for me. It's just become more real, if that makes it any sense. And
Yeah, of course.
I think maybe before I didn't really believe it, and now it's a little bit more cemented. It's more grounded. Yeah, for me.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And that it doesn't actually matter because I know where I'm going, because I know what my purpose is. And now it doesn't really matter that it takes me 9 days to get an email to send set up. It's little blip in
Yeah.
the journey. But I always believe there's a reason of this, because I'm learning so many other things while that's happening. And
Mhm.
then I have to just believe that this is the journey, and this is that there's, and then suddenly it's, it arrives. And as Ask Sherile says, I mean, you're surprised. She's like, you're surprised it started
That you're
working.
able to sort it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
right now, today, you're surprised? I said, yeah, no, not really.
No. The delay can sometimes be for our good, but it is annoying,
Yeah.
like, and it has felt like, kind of spinning wheels quite a bit the past few days. Like, just
Mm,
everything just felt harder, took longer, was more confusing, right? But I do think maybe we've all been doing a little bit too much of what we no longer need to do,
mm,
right? And I'll give you a really good example. So it's taken me like 2 days to send out 8 emails.
mm,
Now, that's not normal for me. However, I hand wrote all of my emails. I didn't use AI. And that's why it took me so long, because I wrote them and edited and wrote them and edited and wrote them and edited. And then during the process, I thought, well, I'm still going to send these, but I don't care. I'm just going to do direct message. I'm going to send voice notes. I'm going to message people, because the same people that are getting these emails, I know how to get hold of them.
yeah.
And I'm going to pick my phone up and I'm going to speak to them, because that's what I want to do. And I don't know that I believe in email marketing anymore. In fact, I'm pretty sure I don't, because some people go to spam. Some people forget to open them. Some people open them, read them 3 times, and then email me back. And it's like, no, you don't need to email me. Now we're having a whole conversation, right? Whereas if I send you a personal voice note, I'm going to speak to you about what you need to know, and you're going to speak to me. We'll have a conversation. And that works great. And I get it, when you've got big numbers, it's not always possible, but then you have groups and then you
Mm,
speak to the whole group. And it's like,
mm,
I'm kind of done with emails. And maybe that's why it was such a slow, hard process. Right. And I'm like, maybe I'm not going to do so much email marketing. Maybe I am just going to message people and send voice notes, because that's what I'm better at.
yeah. Yeah, that's what you feel like doing. Yeah.
So that I'm hoping that gets burnt away, and I'm given some amazing tool that helps me to voice note a ton of people at once, right? Because people are always in a group, but maybe I just make more groups. I don't know. But it's like, I'm happy to be over emails, and I'm happy to message people directly. I
Yeah.
prefer it. I like getting to know people as well, right? And we hope that one day there will be way too many people to voice note, but I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So maybe things are changing as far as what we've always done over the past 18 years. and we're ready to take things to the next level. And maybe we're ready to introduce something new as well. So let's see. But you mentioned the skip step earlier. Tell us about your skip step for those that don't know.
Those that don't know. Well, it's a few things, but for me specifically, it was yeah, you've really caught me now, because it's not something I enjoy talking about, because it's always about it's not always about, that sounds terrible. It's about I don't think I really trusted myself always. And so I would wait for somebody to tell me this or that, or it's like this, or it's like that, or do it this way, or do it that way. Or even although I very much have my own strong mind, I would always look for validation. And it's about trusting myself. So that my skip step was just trusting me, and trusting that what I'm doing is good enough. And you've disappeared again, although you keep telling me I'm still here.
Keep talking.
So I think it was about me just trusting me and showing up for me. And yeah.
Okay.
I don't know where you are. I had two sections, and I think keep talking. Okay. And the second part of it for me was like, I'm a really systems builder. I love systems. I love building in systems. I love thinking in systems. And I think I really doubted that about myself a lot, and doubted that was my sort of gift, and seeing the pattern, and always being a little bit afraid to talk about it or to engage with it, because I think also for a long time I was told that it's not valid, or it's not important. But I think the skip step for me was finding my voice and trusting myself, and that I do know what I need to do and how to do it. And I think that was a huge validating moment, where you tend to mistrust yourself. Like, but you don't need anybody else's validation. You are enough, and you know enough. And that's a good place, and that's a good feeling to have, to know that.
I think that the skip step has been really popular with a lot of people, that especially those that did the last challenge, and other people have got into the app and asked. And the most common feedback is that it makes a lot of sense, but it feels really uncomfortable when they challenge the skip step. So for me, my skip step is it's related to emotions, right? It's very much like, I'm going to be very happy-go-lucky, very bright and energetic, and we're not getting into deep emotion. And the truth is, no matter whether it's a one-to-one or a group scenario, there must always be a level of emotional connection, right? And so in a group setting, if I start to get into the emotions of something, feels very awkward, a little bit uncomfortable. And I kind of feel like, oh, I'm doing too much. Like, no one wants to talk about their misery or their sadness or their grief, or their in a group situation. We just want to solve problems and fix everything and keep it moving. And it's not true, right? People want to be able to express their emotions safely. And so for me, part of my skip step is creating group environments that allow people to express their emotions safely.
I'm thinking now of something you said in the beginning that I kind of missed, which is, why do we skip a step, right? So you explain that, because that's really powerful if you understand that.
Mm-hmm. Because we're in a rush to get to our purpose. We're like, I'm in my comfort zone, South Node. That is the point at which we entered this lifetime. So we're really comfortable. Wherever your South Node is, you can ask Sherile in the app. Wherever your South Node is, it's where you're really comfortable, right? You lean back, you put your feet up. I know this. I know this part of life. I know this scenario. In fact, I can dominate here. Nothing to think about. And then we are constantly being pulled towards our North Node, which tends to be, not always, but pulling us towards our purpose. So if you imagine we come into this life at the South Node, this is where we like ended a previous life. Doesn't have to be the last one, but a previous life. So we've got a ton of energy here. We feel comfortable. And in this life, we have a mission or an assignment. Our soul has an intention to move towards the North Node. So it's often described as the South Node is the bottle, the North Node is AA. So if we start with whatever we're comfortable with, usually a few bad habits, usually some karma in this lifetime, we want to work off that karma. We want to change those habits. We want to learn. We want to play. We want to develop. We want to elevate as souls. So we're heading towards the North Node. Now, oftentimes, we don't want to go step by step. And taking those steps means working through different life domains to get to where the North Node is. So what many of us will do is go, I'm in the South Node, I'm drinking too much, I'll just quit drinking. Straight to my purpose, cold turkey. I'm not going to go to therapy. I'm not going to join a group. I'm not going to like gently withdraw. I'm not going to pull back step by step. I'm just going to be like, I don't drink anymore. And it's like, no, you don't arrive. You have to work the steps. So the skipped step is usually a point in our chart where there will be a planet or planets at a particular point in the chart that signifies the step that you must take, the work that you must do in this lifetime to get to your purpose. So if you imagine trying to skip out, let's say your purpose is to be a mechanic, and you try and skip a year's worth of training on oil changes. I don't know. I'm obviously not a mechanic. It's a terrible example, but here we go. And you don't learn about oil changes. And now you rock up one day, you get the job, you lied, you said you know what you're doing, and the first 10 cars all need an oil change. Kind of screwed. You might have to go back and practice oil changes on 10 cars, right? You're being forced to do your skip step because that skip step was learn how to change oil filters or whatever it is if you're a mechanic. So it's almost like the idea of we want to arrive really quickly. We're in a rush to get into our purpose, to get the outcome, the result of whatever we think we're here to do in this life without working through all of the points. And there's always that blind spot, that one step that we try and skip because it's work. It means changing your mind, changing your perspective. It means doing something that your family never did. It means doing something that your friends don't do. It means doing something that your partner doesn't believe in. It means doing something that feels uncomfortable to you. But we need to do that, go through that experience, learn that skill, develop that knowledge, get that understanding. And then when we arrive at our purpose, we are actually ready to deal with whatever comes up. So for me, part of my skip step is was my husband dying, right? Which is like, what? That is crazy. And it's not that I kept trying to not have him die, because obviously you don't want someone to die. But for my life trajectory, I did a lot of stuff around like Reiki and energy healing, but I didn't become a therapist until he died. So part of my purpose was like writing and teaching and creating structures and curriculums and content, which I did really, really well in media, like really easy. Like, this is what we'll do. All of the editorial, right? In all of the books and editorial for TV shows. I was doing it all the time. But then when my husband passed, I was forced to go and learn about grief, right? Become a therapist. I wanted my children to be okay. I wanted to be okay. So then I was pushed back and had to work through that really difficult, really painful scenario. But that is what pushed me into studying, becoming a therapist, going even deeper into holistic work. Because if he hadn't have died, I would have collapsed and I would have felt the need. I'd have just kept jumping straight up into my North Node in Capricorn and being like, look at me, I'm the authority on editorial campaigns and creating content. And what did I really need to do? I needed to be a therapist. I needed to be able to help people in a much deeper way.
And I think you've also mentioned before that if you don't work through it, you keep repeating it.
You get pulled back. It's like snakes and ladders. So you will always hit a wall and then you'll loop back. So that's why it becomes a pattern and that's why you loop. So I couldn't break through my purpose until I went through that experience.
And eventually you did. Yeah. 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 So these are two very important things when it comes to the purpose code. And
that point. And that is what the skip step is. So you'll have a consultation and they might not call it that, right?
Yeah.
But that is effectively what it is. And that's why people get so far and loop back and they're like, oh, I'm so stuck. Why can I not achieve my dreams? Why is my business not working? Why can I not? Why are we not married? We've been dating for 5 years. Why, whatever? It's the skip step. And that skip step can be interpreted and show up in so many ways. And if you reflect back to the last solar eclipse in Leo, you'll probably be able to pick out a few more along the way.
Okay.
So yeah, these are all I think they're valuable. And as a Taurus rising and you're a Taurus sun, we always want to be useful. We want to do things that are helpful to people. And I think with the purpose code, it's a lot of work sometimes for me, but my intention is that it's useful, is that it helps people, that people get answers, they get clarity, they get direction. If they're up at night and like,
Mm. Mm. And like Sherile says, that ask Sherile, this is a good time to journal or to write this down. Yeah. So
notes, there is now a reflection section in the app under Ask Sherile where it will save your chat so that you can clear your chat and start a new one. And it works a bit like a journal. And the idea is you can go back and look over your old notes and be like, oh, I remember asking that. Oh, that's what happened on that full moon, that new moon, that solar eclipse. Because sometimes we're not all on Instagram, right? So I don't go to Instagram for my memories, like, but I will go to journals, and I have so many books. I don't have as many books as Lauren, who has umpteen books, but I have so many books, and it's like I'll know what book to go to, and I'll be like, I think that happened around this time. I think it's in the Elephant Journal. Grab the Elephant Journal, right?
Mm.
Just nice.
Mm. But there's definitely, what is it, Pendlebury, who there's the connection between the cognitive, written, writing, that whole process, that actually you don't ever have to go read it again, according to him. The fact that you've gone through the process has helped you release and resolve
Yeah.
whatever it
And it's
is.
the same with walking.
Mm.
Like there's a like an activation in the brain that if you ever feel overwhelmed with your thoughts, go on a mindful walk and you will outwalk those thoughts,
Mm.
which might sound crazy, but it's the same as like writing, which it doesn't happen with typing or texting, right? It has to be like handwriting because it's the
Mm.
movement of the hand that is forming words that activates that.
Yeah. Mm.
have things to do, but I will be present all the time. But this challenge is a big one. It's 14 days. We are all going to be releasing things. We might cry some days, we might laugh other days, we might be in awe of each other on certain days. There are going to be some spectacular events. There are going to be some big changes, some beginnings and endings. It's going to be a great time. And there is a WhatsApp group that you will all be invited to when you join. And that's where the action happens. That's where all of the thoughts are shared. So, yeah, come on, let's get together. Let's decode this eclipse and figure out what the universe and the cosmos has in store for all of us. So if anyone has any questions, please download at thepurposecode.app. Go there, download the app and ask Sherile. You can ask me as well. You can email me. There's a link in the app to email me. You can message me on Substack, whatever. If you've got questions, go to Ask Sherile. I have recently increased the quota to 10 questions a day. That might not last. So if I was you, I'd take advantage of it now. As a free user, you've got 10 questions a day. And it's just £36 to join the challenge. So
awesome. So my last challenge changed everything for me. Awesome. Looking forward to it.
okay.
Thanks.
Well, it was
Thanks,
great
Sherile.
talking to you, Mornay, as always.
Yes,
And I look forward to getting started. The prep unlocks on Saturday. So if you are doing the challenge, please get registered by Friday. There will be a prep step that unlocks over the weekend, and then we start officially on Monday with the live Zooms.
awesome.
So,
Looking forward to it.
thank you so much and see you soon. Bye for now.